Yep, I just pressed go live, and we are live. We are live.
Fantastic.
I hope there are people watching.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is that awkward bit at the start. Where's all the comments? I like it when the comments are coming through and can have a bit of banter with people as it starts.
And now please say hi in the comments, people, so we know there are people watching.
Debbie.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Cool. You get started.
We should get started, really, shouldn't we? What do you reckon, Gemma? Yeah, Gemma's nodding.
Yeah.
Gemma's hair matches the slide deck tonight, which is absolutely a fantastic touch, which I really appreciate. Hello, Simon. Hello, Simeon. Yeah, let's get cracking now. Beautiful wheel animation, because it is the Wheel of Talks tonight. Very brave souls taking on the wheel. Before we get cracking, we would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today. We would also like to pay our respects to elders past and present. So welcome to SydCSS, our last one of the year, unless we somehow squeeze in an extra one before Christmas Day. I'm David. I'm one of the hosts of the night, along with Fiona. You can see here. Hello, Fiona. Hi. Gemma as well. Where are you, Gemma? You're down in Goulburn, aren't you? Like, you've really extended the organising group. And then we've got Sharpie there over in Parramatta tonight.
Good evening.
Very good, sir. So tonight is the Wheel of Talks. We've done this for a few years now, where we invite people to kind of brave the wheel. Tonight's brave souls that we've got are here. Fiona?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that is my slide. So we have our Wheel of Talk tonight. So what is happening? So this is kind of our third year of doing it. We thought that it would be great to get speakers and, not give them any ideas of what the talk, that they will be talking about. They will spin the wheel and allow the wheel to decide the fate, essentially. So we've got Phil and Matt, and Dom, who will be spinning the wheel tonight. And while they prepare their impromptu kind of talk, we also have Matt Colman, who will be giving us a talk around CSS variables.
Yeah, so Phil, Matt, Dominik, super brave. Matt, a little bit brave, maybe not as brave. We should also give a big shout out to Matt as well, who only got roped in at the very last minute. So I think up until about half an hour ago, he did not know he was going to be part of this tonight. So good luck, Matt. Good luck. Good luck. All right, so I guess it's time to prepare the wheel. Are we ready, folks? Do you think? Yeah, I think we're ready to go. Let me just switch over to the wheel. I need to wheel it out, so to speak. Now, the wheel is prepared by one of our long-standing community members, Gilmore, who has put in a significant amount of effort on this. 1 second. Let me try that again. I need to make sure the audio works because it is absolutely fantastic with the audio. Okay, brace yourselves, folks. Hold on to your hats. I think that intro really goes with my shirt, do you think?
It does.
My jacket, I should say. So should we run people through how it's going to work, Fiona? What do you reckon?
Yes, I will demonstrate.
Okay,
so you need to press the button like this. Boop.
Too easy. I wonder if that will actually come up in real life. Now, do we want to invite our first speaker up?
Yes. All right. I'm just going to remove other people. So you're going to have Dom. Hi, Dom.
Hi,
How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Well, unfortunately, Houdini has already been picked, so you're not going to get that.
You never know. You never know.
That is true. You never know. It is randomized. So But yeah, just a quick introduction of Dom. Dom is an engineering manager at ThinkMill, which I'm sure a lot of you will know, very well respected consultancy here in Sydney. They work on Keystone JS. Yeah, can't wait to see you. Does that say ThinkMill on the back? Nice.
No, it says look ahead.
Does it?
Ooh.
Ooh, I think my vote might be already going to you. Okay, all right, Dom, do you want to spin the wheel now?
Yeah, please. I mean,
you need to press
find out.
the button press like that and make the boop sound.
Oh, I see. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, here we go.
No, you gotta go.
You need to make the boop sound.
Yeah, boop noise.
Ah, boop noise. Forget the boop noise. On 3, 1, 2, beep.
There we go.
Houdini. Oh, so close. That was so close to something that I would have liked.
Is that a good topic or no?
Can I rephrase this in why everyone hates Webpack?
Sure.
If you wish to do that, you absolutely can. I think that will be very popular. Very popular.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, off you go, Dom. All right, and then next we're going to have Phil. 1 second.
Hello.
Hi, Phil. How are you feeling?
Yeah, definitely also on the nervous side. I brought all my alcohol with me to help, so it's going to be fine.
Nice. What's the least amount of time you've had?
What was that,
you got a trophy. Yeah, so just a quick introduction of Phil. So Phil works at Twilio. What's your title there, Phil? Developer evangelist? Did I get that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And Phil is actually based in Melbourne. So great thing with virtual events that we can have Phil joining us all the way from Melbourne.
Happy to be
all right.
in Ontario.
All right, Phil, your turn.
What's it doing?
Having a think.
Oh, is that good, Phil?
I can go with that. CSS can totally know me, and probably everyone. So let's go with it.
Awesome. All right, then. Thank you, Phil. And we're gonna have Joey.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us such a last minute, literally with like 30 minutes notice. You're a legend. Thank you so much. And yeah, just a quick introduction of Zoe. He is a senior software engineer at ThinkMill, based in Newcastle. So yeah, yep. Another great thing about virtual events that you can have Zoe finally joining us and giving us a talk with 30 minutes notice. So, all right.
Will I be invited back after this? Who knows?
Oh, I don't know. We're depending on the voting.
Definitely.
All right, then. Off you go, Zoe. You press the button.
Boop.
How do you feel about that one?
I guess you are very happy about that topic.
I have not written an HTML email since like 2006.
Just do it from that point of view. 2006 is Colin. It wants its presentation back.
I know, just what you remember. It can be however you want to interpret the topic, by the way. So use your imagination. All right, then. Thank you, Zoe.
All right, now.
Neat. Go back to the slide.
Yeah, I'm so smooth tonight with the transitions. It's just amazing. All right, so the wheel has been prepared. They're off now. They're preparing their talks. So we'll just crack on with the rest of the night, eh? Big thank you to Gilmore, who put together the wheel that you saw there. Like, he's been working on that on and off for 3 years now, so it gets better every single time. That introduction was absolutely beautiful. Like, I feel as though it really does complement my outfit tonight. Yeah, you can check out Gilmore's website. I think there's a write-up of how he's done the wheel as well. There's lots of interesting techniques in there, and you can actually download a copy as well and run it yourself. Yeah. So big thank you, Gilmore.
Thank you, Gil.
Now, if you're on Twitter or Instagram or anything like that tonight, then please tag us with SydCSS hashtag. We love it when people share photos of yourselves watching the live stream from home on your televisions.
With your pets.
With your pets this time as well. Big pets kind of thing going on tonight as well. We're pretty much a YouTube channel now, so normally we'd be asking people to kind of like sign up, which you've already done, but now we're also asking people to like the video, subscribe, and really, really make our channel stand out. Yeah, tonight's sponsor.
Oh yes. Yeah, thanks to Look Ahead sponsoring StreamYard, which allows us to have all these fancy transitions and fancy backgrounds. And yeah, Look Ahead is a technical recruitment company based in Sydney, focused on hiring software engineers in JavaScript and Ruby on Rails. So yes, you can check them out at lookahead.com.au.
Yeah, and they are lovely people. So when was this? This was maybe a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I put a tweet out to ask people to share pictures of your pets. I think people have more pets now than they've ever done in the history of the universe. So we picked out a few that you've kind of sent through. We've got Verity, who's actually one of the co-organizers of SydCSS, who couldn't make it tonight, but here's her little old pets, Alfie and Fergus, I think they're called. I don't know who's who. Oh, actually, you know what? I should know because the emojis are there, aren't they, to give me a clue. I should learn to read, shouldn't I? They are very cute, though. How long has she had that cat? Have you any idea? I remember the dog. Taryn, I feel as though Taryn's dog has a life of its own on social media. Yeah, so this is Taryn's dog, Pixie. I always wonder, how do you keep white dogs so clean? Is there like techniques to that? Please let me know, like the special white dog shampoo or anything. We've got Pink with showing us her Belly the cat, looking pretty cute there. Kind of like that red really pops against the white of that cat. And then we've got Simeon as well, kind of late entry. Just a few minutes ago, sending through a picture of Ivy. Very, very cute. How big's Ivy, do you know? Because it's hard. I need something for scale.
Ivy's quite small.
Yeah, okay. We need like something for scale to be next to a banana or something for scale there.
Super cute.
Yeah, so if you're watching tonight with your pets, then yeah, like tag it with the extra special hashtag that we've got, which is the SydCSS pets hashtag. If you're watching it with your animal, then you're going to score some extra points, and we'll come back to you a lot later. But first up, yeah, Matt.
Oh, first up we have Matt. So, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
All right. Bear with me. I'm just doing my string thingy. I'm going to show you. Yay, there you go. So, yes, just a quick introduction of Matt. Matt is a senior software engineer at Atlassian now. Previously, he was at Domain. And yeah, tonight, he's very kindly agreed to give a talk to us about CSS variables in real life. So please put your hands together and clap emojis in the comments for Matt.
Hello.
Cool. I'm really excited to be here, and I am particularly happy that I'm not in the Wheel of Talks. That looks absolutely terrifying, and this is going to be easier than that. But good luck to everyone. I can't wait for the wheel. All right, so CS variables for real life. Quick intro to myself. Fiona took half of it, but hi, I'm Matt. I'm a dad, I'm a drummer, and since work from home, I'm a gardener just like everyone else. So I've gone from motion graphics to games dev to web dev, and some companies I worked for: Reading Eggs, DraftStars, Domain, and now I'm at Atlassian. So I want to just share a quick story about the start of the year. I was working at Domain with my team, and we're a really close team, and we all thought, why don't we share our personal goals for 2020? Because we work with each other every day. We thought close group of people, you know, how good will it be if we can cheer each other on and achieve our own personal goals? So for me, I had two. One was learn to surf. I did not achieve that goal, but the other was to talk publicly at a meetup. So December 10th, 2020, we can tick that off right now. I think we're far enough in this that I've achieved that. So, woo! I've actually been wanting to do this for 10 years, so I'm really glad that I'm finally here, and thanks so much for having me. So I'm talking about CSS variables today because I've been sort of looking at it for ages. I imagine many of us are. I mean, hands up, who's actually used CSS variables before? Yep, I can't see anyone, but I imagine like maybe there are a few hands, and I imagine there's plenty of hands that are not up because CSS variables have been something that have been pretty interesting, but where do you actually use them and why? So my thoughts were they look interesting, looks fun. Does this add functionality, or is it just a nice to have? Where can I use this in real life? I've heard it's good for dark mode, so okay. So like everything, there's so much tech out there. What do you do when something new comes up? You can't look at everything, but if you hear it maybe 2 or 3 times, eventually you'll Google it, like I have, CSS variables, and you land on a page like this. CSS variables explained with 5 examples. So I click on this and I probably give it about 2 minutes to wow me, otherwise I might forget about it again. So this is how I do it. I just go through, skim read. All right, example 1, managing colors, cool. So I've clicked on this sandbox before, and basically you can change the background color with a CSS variable. I mean, I'm not that excited. I could always change the background color. So let's go to example 2, removing duplicate code. Okay, red and red. Okay, all right. Example 3, make some properties human readable. Not sure what that means yet, but I haven't seen anything really exciting yet. Cascading the variables. So if you hover over orange, then the blue gets bigger, and hover over the red and the blue gets bigger again. Not sure where I can use this in real life as of yet. And theme switcher. All right, well, dark mode's obviously very cool. Calm, I quite like the calm, that's nice. But I could already do this without CSS variables. So then I'll just keep going and I'll skim to the end, and that's sort of it. So one thing that happened recently is we were building this deployments view in Jira. So this is a timeline where you can see these little deployments, and they're related to your Jira issues. So you can see when you ship features. And if I zoom in here, we can see what we've got are some circles and some lines. And there's this tiny little 2-pixel gap in between the line and the circle. And this 2-pixel gap caused us a lot of pain. We actually got the whole team together and we were like, how can we achieve this gap? So it seems pretty simple, actually. I mean, we know this point here. So if we give it some even padding on the lines, that can achieve the gap that we're looking for. But things got a little bit complicated when we come down here and we look at this guy. And he's a bit wider now. So now we can't use that even padding, and we don't really know, we don't want to calculate the width of that. So we had to come up with a different solution. So what we thought was maybe we can add a border around the icon. So if I click on this, now we can see this here, and let's pretend we add a border. Okay, so we'll say border, 2 pixels, solid red. And now you can see the strategy we're going for. So if we can have a border around this that matches the background color, that will create an illusion that there's a gap between the line and the icon. So if I make this white because the background's white, that's exactly what we want. So we can see that this is an illusion and it's all perfect until we hover over the row. And now the row background color has changed to gray, but our border color is still white and the illusion is completely killed. So this is a big problem. And again, we were scratching our heads. How can we fix this? How can we make the border color of each icon match the background color of the row? And we almost gave up on this until I kind of thought, what about current color? Because current color, in my mind, it could solve this problem. I've previously used current color for if I wanted to color SVG based on its parent's color. So this is kind of the same thing. So back to the slides here, this was a really important takeaway for me. I remembered that current color is a CSS variable. So even though I've never used CSS variables before, this is something that triggered for me. I want to use current color, but I'm not actually manipulating color. So CSS variables might be a good option. And current color, in fact, was the first ever CSS variable. And I think it was a bit of a trial for CSS variables to come up with, to see if it was actually useful. So if we go back here, we can see that we maybe could use current color, but as I said, we're not looking at the color, we're looking at the background color. So let's go with CSS variables. So if I open up the code here, I'm sure you don't want to look at the code, but I just want to show you this one line because I love this line, and this is CSS variables. So we've got row background color is equal to item selected color, and if that doesn't exist, item hover color, and if that doesn't exist, base background color. So now we can see that CSS variables is actually a lot more powerful than current color was because we've got these fallbacks. And this is very readable code. So we really get a good idea about what the variable row background color is. And then the background color to that row is assigned to that variable. And let's have a look at one of these icons. I think we can guess now what the border is going to look like. If we go down here, border color is equal to row background color. So now we're just looking at this variable everywhere and we can achieve exactly what we want. If I zoom out again, I can click this row, the row goes blue. And again, we still have the gaps in between the lines because that border color is assigned to exactly the same variable that the background is assigned to. So it will work every time, no matter what you do, that's going to work. So that's really fantastic. The other thing is, well, if these are all looking at something called row background color, the variable, how is it possible that one row is white and one is gray? Well, that brings me to my next point, that CSS variables can be locally scoped. And actually they are by default. So this is really cool. Each row has its own row background color, and it's scoped to that row. So that's how those rows can have different colors, but it all still works. So that's basically it. I mean, this code has gone to production. I've finally found a use for CSS variables. I'm really excited about it. And let's just have a look at another example that I've done. So after we shipped that first one, I was actually just on this like CSS variables high. I was like, this is so cool. I love CSS variables. What else could I do with it? So I thought back to when I was working at Domain, and we had a design system at Domain where, because Domain is a very responsive website, our typography system was also responsive. So we had these things that looked a little bit like this: typography H700. Now H700 was a set, and it was mainly around font size, font weight, line height, but it had 2 breakpoints attached to it. So what would happen is on desktop, H700 was a 48 pixel font, and on mobile, H700 was a 24 pixel font. And as the fonts got smaller, as we got down to like 12 pixels, they were actually the same at mobile and desktop. So we have this sort of curve where as fonts get bigger, they get further and further apart from mobile and desktop. So this was quite a challenge at Domain, and how we solved it was we just applied those 2 media queries to basically every text element in the website. So if you go to domain.com.au and start resizing your window, you'll see that the text changes size, and there are like hundreds, maybe thousands of media queries in that website to achieve that. Now, I was kind of surprised that it didn't appear that there were any performance impacts of that. Lots of media queries. I guess media queries just fly, so that's pretty cool. But it still kind of bothered me. I mean, that's a lot of extra code. That's a lot of media queries. I thought, let's see if we can solve this with CSS variables. And I've just quickly read a comment out of the corner of my eyes. You're absolutely right. Domain still supports IE11, so this isn't a viable option. But Jira has recently dropped IE11 support, which that's how we're allowed to be using CSS variables in that deployments view. So anyway, here's the spike here. I've just got one set of global CSS variables here. So H700 here is 14 pixels. However, if we're on a tablet, it's 30 pixels. And if we're on a desktop, it's 50 pixels. And that's the only set of media queries I'm going to define. And then the H700 set here is simply assigning H700 font size to font size. And now I could build this whole website, and the only media queries I'll have is this one. So if I resize this, you can see that the font gets smaller and it gets smaller again. So that's pretty awesome. I was quite happy with this. And finally, I'm just going to tell you probably my favorite thing about CSS variables of all. I don't know if you've come across this, but the workflow that I'm used to is you get a design in Figma, and you build it based off that. So if I click on this heading here, I can see that this is going to be an H100. So if you're using a design system, then this should be pretty familiar to you, not necessarily H100, but some sort of naming convention to how big or what this font looks like. And when I review a pull request from one of my peers, I often open up the Figma and I say, does the application match what the Figma looks like? Because that's really important. Have you basically done what you've been asked to do? So let's see if we can work that out in Storybook. So this heading was meant to be H100. I could click on it. Let's see what it is. It is font size 0.78 M. So, I mean, we don't know what that is. I don't know if that's H100. I don't know how I'm going to find that out. I might have to look at source code. It's kind of annoying. But if we look at this example here, and we can inspect the text here. Font size is equal to H700 font size. So this is fantastic. This is bringing that design even closer to the developer. So what we've got now is we've got Figma saying H700, we've got the code saying H700, and now we've got the browser saying H700. So this is really fantastic, and I really hope that design systems adopt CSS variables for that reason, because it's so much easier to reason with, and you don't really care about the ems or the pixels. All you care about is, am I using the right? That's about it. The main takeaway for me was that you need something to trigger your memory about, is this a good time to use a CSS variable? So hopefully I've given you some ideas about where you can use them. It is great for dark mode. And for me, the current color was the trigger for me that I remembered, that's where I could use CSS variables. So that's it for me. Let's spin that wheel. Good luck, everyone. And thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. Everyone, please give all your applause and all the hand clap emojis in the comment format, please. Thank you. We forgot to do our applause sound effect, David, for this meetup. Yeah.
Yes, sorry, my fault. That's my fault.
Yeah.
How are, should we check in on our presenters? Do we know
Sounds
who's
good.
ready to go?
All right. Thank you, man. Cool. I think it's Dom. Dom who said he wants the least amount of time so that he has an excuse for doing not so well prepared talk, which I'm sure it will be great. Hello.
You ready?
Define ready.
Are you about to begin in approximately 10 seconds?
I mean, I guess it's up to you.
We could delay. Like we could do some singing, maybe. I don't know. What do you reckon, Fiona?
That's a good idea.
Nah, I think we should just get started now.
Can you imagine singing in a German accent? Yes, I do have slides. I should share my screen. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So Dom's topic was, what was it? Webpack. Why is my
yes, the Webpack
grumbling or something? Don't talk about. Nice, very good. All right then. Good luck, job. Everyone, put your hands together for John.
All right, everyone. Hi, and welcome to my talk that I totally prepared. I actually prepared slides today, and I had a fallback because I've learned today that Matt Stowe doesn't like Marvel. And I prepared a talk to talk about Marvel movies and why they are fantastic and what the story is. We've got a bunch of movies to get through, so let's get started. I'm kidding. I didn't do that, but I should have really done that. Anyway, I prepared a couple slides. Hey, I'm talking about a thing, and I really wanted to talk about that. I'm totally sure about it. And did you know the thing with the thing? Thank you. You're welcome. No, okay. So I did actually a thing. So things that I knew about Webpack since I was told to talk about Webpack. It's made in Germany. On a personal note, German engineering by Tobias Kopper. He is not a person I know, even though he's German. Yeah, and German engineering we all know is, great. And I was also told that a cute puppy pictures is really important in my slides. So there's one. Yay. It's also a bundler. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you get to put all your JavaScript that you write into a single file so that the browser can use it and manage dependencies and injections and lots of other big words that we don't really need to know about. The gist of it, though, is it makes it easier to use more JavaScript than you really should. Like, let's look at each other. Should we use that much JavaScript? You know the answer. Deep within. Also, a lot of people find it very hard to manage the settings and learn about the settings and do stuff with it. Whenever I talk to someone who has a problem with Webpack, they're usually looking for someone who likes to dig into Webpack and do it, but they definitely don't want to learn it because it seems like a really tedious sort of work that you don't want to do. I personally try to stay away from it. It's got nothing to do with the previous slide. I don't want to learn it because it seems like too much to learn. And that's it. That's all I know about Webpack. And because it's, I had 10 minutes, I did a search. And I asked why everyone hates Webpack, and there were a lot of results. I mean, like a lot of results. I even read a couple of the Reddit posts and some Medium blog posts, just a couple of headlines here and there, and it went pretty deep into things that people felt very passionate about. They really hate it. I mean, you can only hate a thing if you use it, right? So it's being used everywhere, which gives people the opportunity to hate it, I guess. There's also a lot of questions on Stack Overflow about it. I mean, I don't know what kind of metrics that is. I used the trusty CSS to make the questions thing a little bit bigger here because I felt like it's a CSS talk. I should do something with CSS. Anyway, that is a very big number. That is, if I read this right, 2,133,449 questions currently on JavaScript. There is a Webpack thing underneath, so I screwed that one up. But look, I had 10 minutes, okay? Anyway, yeah, there's lots of questions, and a lot of people use Webpack, and that's, I guess, an endorsement. But instead of talking about Webpack, why not talk about when not to use a bundler or JavaScript in general? Like we could and should probably talk about the fact that we're using it way too often in so many different ways. Why not just use, HTML and, dare I say, CSS? We go into SPAs and single page applications and all that kind of stuff, and we have to reinvent routing. That's crazy because that's built in to HTML anyway, and lots of other things. And it results in really big bundles, which is where Webpack comes in. But I ran out of time. This is basically when Fiona started to call me on the thing. So this is all the slides that I prepared. But being the first speaker means that I have an excuse, right? And that's it. Thank you very much.
Yay, Dom, well done.
I have no idea how long that was. I don't see.
How long did it feel?
I mean, like maybe 5 minutes, probably not more.
See, it's great. It's not that hard. Let's do it again.
I really should have talked more about the Marvel thing. Like, Matt, come on. Damn, I mean, there's, flying people and lasers and stuff. It's all there.
Maybe we'll have that as a topic next time.
Matt doesn't like some Marvel. Is that what it is?
I mean, I don't want to out him, but it looks like he doesn't Marvel. He doesn't like Marvel.
Is this just a ploy to downplay his votes later? Is that what this is?
Possibly.
Very well done.
Debbie is with Matt, or Debbie, I don't know if I can talk to her again.
Look, I don't like people who have different opinions to me, so that's got to stop.
Awesome. Well done, Dom. Well done.
Thank you, Dom. You did so well.
Yay. All right. Yeah, next we're gonna have Phil. Phil. Hello.
Hello. So
You already got your slides and your polish.
we'll see about that. But I tell you what, I don't think my
you're
heart is
definitely
ever
winning.
beat so hard.
No,
so well done.
you'll be great. All right, we're just gonna share your slides. And yes, everyone, can you please put your hands together for Phil? Yay! Oh.
Thank you. Let's go for it. This is the Wheel of Talks. Thank you. My name's Nash. I'm a developer evangelist from Twilio, and I am absolutely delighted to talk to you this evening. I did not know about the fact that we could share images of our pets to garner kind of praise with the crowd and things like that. So I'd like to start by introducing you to my dog Ruby. This is her in a jumper. Obviously, it's not warm here. It's not cold here, but this is back and around Christmas time in London, where we first got her. So this is Ruby. It's the second Dachshund, I guess, on slides tonight. But isn't she adorable? Thank you. So the wheel of talks gave me CSS annoys me because, and I can tell you what CSS does annoy me, because it just keeps getting easier. What is up with that? I am genuinely annoyed. Because I'll tell you why. It's because I started as a front-end developer back when IE6 ruled the world. IE6, I was first an amateur developer and a professional developer since, I guess, 2006. But when I was first learning, it was like 2003, 2004. That was back when like Internet Explorer 6 had 96% of browser share, and CSS. It was simple. There wasn't a lot to it. There wasn't as much to learn as we have these days. But my goodness, it made you work for it, and work we did. I mean, everything we had to lay out, and yes, I did put the dog picture back in for extra votes. Everything we laid out back in the day was floats for everything, unless you were still using tables. But when I first got into web development, I got in at the time where the standards movement was rising, and the people I learned from were proponents of floating absolutely everything, and then doing all the rest of the work to fix the problems that floats would cause you. Because it's not all just about making text wrap around images as it is these days. Instead, I mean, when was the last time you used a clear fix? I can't remember. We've got grid, we've got flexbox. We don't have to worry about floating things anymore. We can use the float for what it was designed for. That's no fun. How about border radius? I mean, I know this is an old one itself, but that did not exist back when I started writing web pages in Dreamweaver or whatever we used back then. Oh my goodness. I just saw it. Sorry, I saw it in the comments. I hope there's a spacer GIF on the slide. There's a spacer GIF on all the slides. You just can't see it. How about border radius? Do you remember what we had to do to make something like this? Look at those wonderful little round things that I knocked up. This is an HTML slide deck that took me no time at all to make a nice little round corner. This is what we had to do, 9 slicing. Or sliding doors. Hands up in the audience if you remember doing sliding doors of CSS. I'm not even going to tell people who don't know what that is. We'll have to work it out later, because finding fun hacks to work around what browsers would and wouldn't let you do just to make a rounded corner on something was just 80% of the work back in those days. And then there were the bugs. These weren't even the bugs, right? Like floating was behaving when it was making stuff move all over the place, and we had to fix that. But really, we just had to work around what we had to use. Then there were the bugs. IE6. It was basically my favorite place to be, because every day as a professional developer, it was my job to beat IE6. And I know that that's IE11 these days. And that was just mentioned. IE11 is still causing trouble for people today. It's going away though, right? We're going to be Edge all the way soon. What about the bugs? How about the 3-pixel jog? you know, when you floated an element in IE6 and for no apparent reason, oh no, sorry, it wasn't when you floated it. You floated it to fix it. That it would just move things off by 3 pixels. Just, you know, 3 pixels, always 3, no more, no less, 3 pixels. How about the double float margin? Yes, you put a left margin on a box, you float it left, and it's doubled up in IE6, just for fun. There was so much to learn to get around all of this. There was so much. There was one thing we had, which has only just been, you know, recently fixed, I guess, in CSS, was that IE6 could do box sizing border box, and previous IEs, in fact, could do box sizing border box. So it had a sensible box model back in those days, but then we removed it until we could actually figure out the actual box sizing thing. So that was a thing that every other browser didn't do, of course. So not so much fun, I guess. But now what do we have? We have a full array of so much CSS these days. We've got CSS variables. You've just seen a talk about CSS variables making life easy, fixing things for you. We've got Flexbox, we've got Grid, we've got browsers that release new standards at the same time, or at least within the same few months. And that is quite incredible at anything. We have, of course, border radius and box sizing, these things that have actually been around for years now, but did not exist to the state and the thing that we had at the time. So CSS does annoy me. CSS annoys me because it used to be really hard. It used to be a complete pain, and we used to be using one tool that you know was formatted purely for those kind of document-based websites that the web was built up of in the 90s, and try and turn that into fancy-looking web applications of the early 2000s. I had to learn a bunch of hacks. I had to learn how so much of this stuff had to go. Oh my goodness, voice chat, yeah. I had to learn a bunch of hacks, so much stuff just to make a web page look sensible, looks like a designer told me it was supposed to look like. And nowadays, CSS keeps getting easier. We keep getting more stuff. There's more stuff coming down the line. And all that work I did back in 2004 was wasted. That's why CSS annoys me. So basically, I've now relegated myself to old man yells at cloud situation, and that's where we are. It's not that CSS is hard to make an application these days, it's that you don't know what you didn't have back then. So that is why CSS annoys me. I hope I haven't triggered too many emotions about old hacks and CSS things in the background. Do you remember conditional comments for Internet Explorer? Think about those too. I hope I haven't triggered too much of that. I hope I haven't confused too many people who've never seen these things before. And I hope that you, as well as I, appreciate the CSS we have to build applications today. That's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for having me in the Wheel of Talks at CSS. Thank you.
Yay! That was awesome, Phil. Totally not. I think someone made a comment in the live stream to say that, oh my god, that's totally not what I was expecting, and that was so good. But it definitely brings up a lot of memories. I think a lot of people are adding comments about all the various hacks, like the hacks that you have to do with the
don't often
heading.
make me emotional. They don't often make me emotional, but Phil, you brought down an emotion with me. I'm not sure what it is yet, but it's something. It will definitely be. I was really happy that you had the double margin bug in there.
But like, it made no sense.
Yeah, I remember the sliding door technique. My goodness, when you're trying to update something, oh, the pain.
It's kind of sad right now. If you go to the A List Apart original article for that, it's got a little disclaimer at the top being like, this was a great technique, but we don't need it anymore. Just move on.
I know.
I know, but A List Apart, you saved our lives.
I know, it did. It did save my life when I was a dev and having to do stuff that's like round the corners and stuff. So yes, but thank goodness for border radius and all the other goodness that comes with CSS now.
None with borders, do they?
Yeah. But yeah, that was awesome, Phil. Thank you so much. Everyone, can you please give Phil all your clap emojis? Yay! Thank you. All right. Okay, we're gonna have our last speaker for the night. Oh, yes, the speaker with the least amount of notice and everything. And yeah, Joey, how are you feeling about CSS in emails?
I'm loving it. I've got a newfound respect for it.
Awesome. All right, have you got slides? Should we?
I do. All right, I will share my screen.
Awesome. Yeah. Should we talk about Marvel while we wait?
Oh man.
Is it not?
Is it going to work? I haven't got permission to share my screen on this laptop. I have to restart Chrome.
Is it? Okay, we can wait for you to.
I'll be right back.
All right, we will go on to the other stuff, David.
We could do the announcement that John Alsop sent.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so this is pretty exciting. John Alsop, who is one of the founders of Web Directions, who organises a lot of the conferences in Australia. He's got an important announcement that I think a lot of you are going to really get excited about a couple of events that they've got coming up in 2021. Shall I press play?
Yes, press play.
Okay, here we go.
Thanks, folks, and it's great to be here. If you don't know me, my name is John Alsop, and I love CSS. And I've loved it since the mid-1990s. I wrote one of the very first editors for CSS called Style Master. I've written books and articles and tutorials and courses and delivered presentations on CSS going over those 25 years. And I don't think CSS gets the credit nor the love that it deserves for making the web as awesome as it is. And we're doing something about that. So for years, I've been running events under the umbrella of Web Directions. And in 2021, we have a whole range of conferences lined up online for front-end designers and developers. But one I'm super excited about is called Hover. It's all about and only about CSS. It's taking place in April, and there's two things you might like to do about it right now. We've got an open call for presentations, so we'd love to hear your thoughts about a presentation you would like to do around CSS. It could be a language feature, it could be a case study, or it could be a cool tip or trick. We provide all the support you need to record an amazing presentation. And we'd love to see you there. We've got prices from $149 for this amazing online conference. And we've also lined up Huijing Chen, who you may well know, an amazing CSS author, a member of the CSS working group at the W3C, to be our convener to help us really put together an amazing program. So we hope to see you there, and we'd love to hear your suggestions and proposals for presentations. Thanks, folks. Enjoy the evening and look forward to seeing you at Hover in April 2021.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
So excited. CSS conference. Definitely going to be there.
Matt,
Right.
how are you looking?
Let's hope this works again. Sorry, I haven't shared screen on this new work laptop yet, so.
It's okay, we've got all the time in the world for you. Oh, here it comes.
Yeah.
There it is.
You can
Here
see?
it comes.
Yep, we can. Oh, David, I said I'm the one controlling the screen.
I'm just going to go away.
Yep, go away. All right, everyone, put your hands together for Zoe. Yay!
Thank you. So yeah, my name's Matt Stowy Stowe. I'm Stowball on Twitter, and I've been tasked to talk about CSS and email. Unlike everyone else, I don't have a pet, so I'll show this cute picture of my daughter on her first Christmas when she looked like the Dungeon Master from Dungeons and Dragons. Phil was just saying that CSS is easy. Well, it's not for HTML emails and CSS and emails. You thought building for the web was hard with, 5 browsers, I guess, across a couple of devices. You wait till you have to try and do HTML emails. You have a massive amount of variances across desktop, mobile, and web, and the same clients like Outlook behave differently in their desktop apps than they do on web, for example. This is a minefield. They can't even agree on how to support basic CSS tags like style and link. So in the browser, they're about half supported. In the desktop, they're fully supported. And on mobile, they're not supported in the Gmail app at all. Like, what's that about? Style and link tags have been with us for years, forever, since the beginning of CSS. Outlook 2007 and 2013, which is still in use quite a bit. If you follow the UK coronavirus stuff, because they use Excel 2013 for their data collection, and you can see it doesn't even support background repeat or background position, which is stuff that was in CSS 1. How is it not in there? Because in the mid-2000s, Microsoft decided to switch to Word for their rendering engine. There was a whole campaign to fix Outlook, and nothing happened. So what are your options for building HTML emails? Number 1, build from scratch. Ain't nobody got time for that. Just don't do it. Option 2, you can use a framework. The 2 most popular ones, Zurb Foundation for emails. So Zurb Foundation also do a web framework. They do an HTML email framework to quickly create responsive emails that work even on Outlook. So fingers crossed, 5.3 thousand GitHub stars, so it must be good. Now, Phil was saying you don't need tables anymore. You need tables in HTML email. Look at this foundation markup to create a button. If you thought developers like full stack devs on the web creating buttons from divs was bad, just look at this. 2 tables nested inside each other just to create a button. I pity any screen reader user who has to traverse that. Your other option is MGML, the only framework that makes responsive email easily. Now, unlike Foundation, this uses its own set of, I guess, web component like tags. They even have an online editor where you can quickly just drop the tags in straight away, give it some attributes that you define, and it creates what you need. So no, you don't have to mess around with nesting levels of tables. They handle all the complexity for you. So that seems like a pretty good option. Your final option is to use the software as a service. So I guess the 2 most popular ones are MailChimp. Bring your audience data, marketing channels, and insights together so you can reach your goals faster, all from a single platform. You can market your business using the HTML email builder. I assume it's drag and drop. They've obviously solved a lot of the pain points that everyone goes through. The only downside is you will be constrained to their kind of templates. There's also the Sydney-based Campaign Monitor. Drag and drop your way to a beautiful email. I haven't used this since the mid-2000s either, but I assume they've solved a lot of the problems since they were the ones who kind of documented most of the CSS support in HTML emails. So that'll be another good solution for you. You have a 4th option though. If your employer really, really, really wants you to do HTML emails, you can quit. And that is it. Thank you very much.
I just bursted out laughing at the last option. I was just gonna add a comment and actually say, oh, Flex now has all the knowledge around how to build HTML emails, and maybe he should do some tomorrow at work, and maybe not. Maybe not. Awesome. Thank you, Zoe.
Yeah,
that
great
was so
job,
good.
Matt. It felt almost as if you got your talk sponsored in that time. So,
the check's in the mail.
Yeah, like you should definitely contact Campaign Monitor and MailChimp after this.
Simon Sweet said he legit did option 4. Whoops. No more HTML emails, everyone. We don't want your developers to quit. Awesome. Thank you, Zoe. Yes, everyone, all the clap emojis for Zoe, please.
Oh, there's so much going on. There is so much going on. Now then, the next part of this is all about the voting, isn't it? Let me just get our slide deck happening again.
I don't know if we tweeted about the I think we are supposed to send a tweet out. How long should the poll be open for? Actually, don't know. We didn't really plan this very well.
Not long, like just to the end of the night.
Yes.
Maybe like
so Gemma,
5 minutes or so.
Yeah, so Gemma, if you can put the tweet out now and then share it in the comments so everyone can go and vote. That'll be great. Yes, time to vote. Time to vote.
So is it there? Yep. So voting, like to help you with your decision. Like I always get to this point of the night and I'm like, what did people talk about again? So we've put together a bit of a recap for you as you're like considering what your vote looks like. Now Dom was first up. What was Tom's topic again? Things I knew about Webpack, I think it ended up as. So Webpack is made by a fellow German, but Dom doesn't know him. There was a cute dog featured in there, like a dog picture. Makes it easy to use too much CSS. I feel as though there's a moral message in here with Dom. Should we use this much JS? Like it's a good question. I don't know. Webpack, using it's tedious. That's fair enough, Dom. Thanks for that little tip. And Dom avoids it. He avoids it like the plague. People really hate it. Why not just use JS and HTML? Did I capture his talk there, do you feel? Yeah, I think I captured the essence of it.
Sorry, I was checking Twitter about the poll.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Phil's talk was up, made me a little bit emotional, this one. It was CSS annoys me because first thing he did, he used a picture of a dog to get votes, I felt. I don't know how you feel about that, whether that's allowed or not, but it did have a cute red jumper. But CSS is getting easier to use, and that's why he hates it. He hates it. IE6 used to make you work for your job. There was another dog picture in this one, this time with floats. It was lamenting the death of the clear pigs.
His dog now.
What's that?
Can we just
Oh man,
go to the screen?
The screen whilst I'm talking. Border radius, like there's the sliding door effect. These bugs, they weren't bugs, these were features. He used to work.
Winning.
He used to go to work just to beat IE6. 3-pixel jog, double float margin. No browser makes. Yeah, the browser's actually fixed problems now. And he used to have to work to find a bunch of hacks. And now all Phil's knowledge, it's sadly wasted. I think a lot of us relate to that. Oh, and then it finished on an old man yells at crowd, which I think is very popular with some of the people in our community. So yeah, is Matt going to be the winner with his CSS in email? There was a cute baby pic. There was a Dungeons and Dragons reference with the Dungeon Master. I don't know whether they actually made it home, if you know that cartoon. If anybody can tell me whether they did make it home, I'd really appreciate that. If Phil thought things were hard back in the day, email still is a bloody nightmare and it's a minefield. Things just aren't supported. And Microsoft is to blame. Microsoft is to blame. Your options are build it from scratch. No one's got time for that. Use a framework. Tables, checking out that button, which reminded me of a Christmas tree as it came up. MJL, which I don't even know what that was. It was some kind of abstraction thing. There was a MailChimp and a campaign monitor ad in there. But then his advice was just basically quit your job. If that's what you're doing, just quit.
Are we checking the poll now?
Should we check the poll?
Yeah, it's at 0%. For all the talks. Can we just say everyone's a winner? Is that a cop-out? I mean, personally, I vote for Phil because he's holding a dog. What are we doing, David?
Let's give it. Is it closed now? Is it, or is it still going?
Well, no. I don't know if anyone is actually voting. Is anyone voting? Because it's still showing up as 0% for me. I don't think anyone is voting. These the vote going up in Twitter. I don't. I reckon people are voting, but it's not coming through. Okay, well, maybe we'll just kind of leave it for now and come back to it at the end.
We'll come back in a minute. We've got other things to talk about. We can definitely kind of like give it a little bit more time. That's super easy. Got a few shout outs that we want to go through. The special announcement, you just heard that a second ago with John and the conference. A couple of meetups that we want to give a shout out to. Melbourne CSS. Have they got an event coming up before Christmas, Fiona, or not?
No, I don't think there's one coming up this year. They had one last month. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye out for it.
Go check out.
Yeah, go and check it out. We've got DOMS meetup, Design Systems meetup coming up next week. What day is that? 14th? Is that Monday?
Next Monday. I think it starts at 5 or 5:30, something like that.
And then we've also got London CSS, which if you look very carefully there, you'll see that it's actually on Thursday, December the 10th, which is tonight. So you're thinking, well, how can we watch this when we're watching SydCSS? Well, it's very simple. Due to the time travel properties of living in Australia, this will actually be on tomorrow morning at about what time? What time do we work it out as? It's like 6 a.m.
5:30 a.m. or something. 5:30. No, hang on. No, that's just something about Monday. Design System meetup. 5:30.
It's too hard. Time zones are hard. Basically, you've still got time to watch it. And Mike Rithmuller is going to be presenting. He's presented for us a couple of times, and he's absolutely fantastic. Got a few extra animal shots that we've had through the night as well. So there's Joe here. Oh, you know what? I totally cut off the pets that you had in that. There was a baby Yoda in there and like a cuddly toy, I think. I do apologize, Joe. I've totally cut you off. Isabel was a bit late in, but here's a picture of her cat. And then Sharpie with the chickens. Oh, prepare the wheel. No, we're not preparing the wheel. Are we checking back on the voting? How are we looking, people?
I thought we're looking at the wheel again. No?
Oh, hang on a sec.
Are we?
I'll buy us a little bit more time. Hang on 1 second.
How's the voting going? Apparently we broke Twitter. Yeah, I don't know how does voting work on Twitter? Oh, this is too complicated.
Now, in the rush to get the wheel up and running earlier, I forgot an important feature that was specifically added for 2020. So I feel if you could pretend there's a drum roll at this point, then Gilmore kindly added this mode. Here we go. It is the social distancing mode to the wheel, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Nice touch, nice touch. Hopefully we won't need this one next year and we'll be back together at that point. But you never know. You never know. There might be something even more extreme by that point. All right, how are you looking on the voting, people?
Apparently it doesn't seem to be counting any votes. Yeah, okay, well, that didn't work.
That did not work, did it?
I guess we vote on YouTube.
Yeah, so, people cast your votes and we'll count them up.
Yeah. Well, I saw a few people, I don't know, how do we even count? Can we just say everyone is the winner?
No, we can't do that. We can't do that.
No.
A
new poll? No, that's
no, not got time for that. I think it's got to be between. I think it's got to be between Phil and Stoey. Fiona, what do you think? Are you going to pick?
Yes, it looks like more people mentioning Phil, I guess. Also, he's holding his super cute dog.
Okay, so we're going to give it to.
I think the real winner is the Quacker quota. We need a new wheel to choose the winner. Yes, okay. Applause. Debbie, applause is not going to work because we can't hear anyone.
I think it's
the real winner are the friends we made along the way. No sigh.
No, it's totally going to Phil. I can see the votes going through now.
Oh,
Phil.
is it? Can you see?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Phil, how do you feel? Congratulations on winning.
Yay!
Woo! I can't believe we broke Twitter.
Oh, remember the fail whale? Remember that?
Ah, the fail whale, yeah. Yes. More blasts from the past there.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Yes, I agree. Sorry for being a good sport and doing this at the very last minute. But I think the real winner is Phil's dog. I agree, Sai. I agree.
Yeah, you're right. I think it does go to your dog, actually. Yeah, Phil.
I think Phil's dog is getting the most votes right now.
She's surprisingly heavy after a while.
Also, thank you.
That's the end of the night. The next event that we've got lined up is going to be in February.
Yes, Feb. We haven't planned anything yet, but it should be on the first Thursday of Feb, I guess. And I think we might have one talk lined up. So if anyone wants to do a talk, let us know.
Yeah, great New Year's resolution to give a talk. And chances are it'll still be online, which is even easier to give because you can totally cheat it. You can just have like an auto cue and those kinds of things. We can give you heaps of tips. But yeah, but big thank you to everybody who presented tonight. And especially big thank you to Matt for doing it at such a late minute kind of call up. Like,
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in and all the comments. And yes, everyone have a very safe and happy Christmas and New Year. We'll see you in 2021.